There's something unsettling you need to understand. Not everyone who smiles at you wants you to win. Some people clap the loudest when you announce your goals. But inside, they are quietly calculating the day you fall. They don't openly sabotage you. They don't confront you. They don't declare war. They wait. They watch. And deep down, they hope you fail. Not because you did something wrong, not because you hurt them, but because your potential threatens their identity. This isn't paranoia. This is human nature, studied, exploited, and mastered by thinkers like Machiavelli. And today, we're going to dissect the dark strategy behind why people secretly want you to fail, and how to use this knowledge as power. The uncomfortable truth about human nature. Here's the first thing you must accept. Most people do not compare themselves to who they were yesterday. They compare themselves to you. If you start improving, if you start earning more, if you start looking better, if you become more disciplined, you unintentionally attack their comfort zone. Your growth becomes a mirror. And most people hate mirrors because mirrors don't lie. When they see you rising, they don't just see your success. They see their excuses. And excuses hate exposure. Envy, the silent emotion. Envy is not loud. Jealousy screams. Envy whispers. Jealousy says, I want what he has. Envy says, I hope he loses what he has. And the dangerous part? Envy hides behind friendship, behind advice, behind concern, behind jokes. Bro, don't aim too high. Be realistic. People like us don't reach that level. Why are you trying so hard? It sounds harmless, but psychologically, this is subtle containment. When you aim higher than the group average, you disturb the hierarchy. And humans are wired to protect hierarchy. The hierarchy instinct. In every friend group, family system, office, or social circle, there is an unspoken ranking. Who's the smart one? Who's the funny one? Who's the successful one? Who's the failure? The moment you begin to change your role, you destabilize the system. If you were the average guy and suddenly become disciplined and focused, you are rewriting the script. And people hate unpredictable scripts. Why? Because stability equals psychological safety. When you improve, you create uncertainty. Uncertainty creates anxiety, and anxious people prefer your failure over their discomfort. This is not evil. It is instinct. But Machiavelli understood something powerful. People are more loyal to their comfort than to you. Why your success feels like their loss. Human psychology often operates on a hidden equation. Your win equals my inadequacy, even if logically it's not true. If you and your friend both start from the same point, and you suddenly pull ahead, it forces them to confront a painful possibility. Maybe I could have done more. But confronting that thought requires responsibility. Responsibility requires effort. Effort requires discipline. And discipline is rare. So instead of leveling up, they unconsciously prefer you level down, because if you fall, the gap disappears, and their ego survives. The ego's survival mechanism. The ego does not want truth. It wants protection. If your progress threatens someone's ego, they will protect themselves in subtle ways. They minimize your achievements. They exaggerate your mistakes. They highlight your flaws. They predict your downfall. And here's the dark part. Sometimes, they don't even realize they're doing it. Their subconscious mind is defending their identity. Machiavellian strategy begins with one principle. Understand people not by what they say, but by what threatens them. If your growth triggers discomfort, you've identified insecurity. And insecurity is predictable. The fear of being left behind. There's another layer. When you improve, you don't just change your results. You change your environment. New habits, new networks, new standards. And this terrifies people close to you, because deep down they fear, if he rises too high, he won't need me anymore. So instead of supporting your growth fully, they subtly resist it. Not loudly, not dramatically, but through doubt, through distraction, through emotional guilt. You've changed. You don't have time for us anymore. You think you're better now? Notice the manipulation. It's not about you being wrong. It's about them feeling abandoned, and humans would rather pull you back than climb with you. Scarcity mindset, the hidden battlefield. Most people operate from scarcity. They believe there is limited success, limited recognition, limited admiration. So if you rise, they feel smaller. This is why in competitive environments, schools, offices, creative industries, sabotage is common. Not always direct sabotage, but psychological sabotage. Withholding information, spreading subtle doubt, celebrating your failure quietly, staying silent when you succeed. Machiavelli wrote about power dynamics centuries ago, but the principle still stands. People support your ascent only until it threatens their position. After that, admiration turns into quiet resistance. The mask of support. Here's the most dangerous type of opponent. The disguised ally. They smile. They encourage. They nod. But they hope your plan collapses. Why? Because if you succeed, it proves they didn't try hard enough. And that truth is unbearable. So instead of competing openly, they compete internally. They monitor your progress. They compare silently. They wait for your mistake. And when you stumble, even slightly, they feel relief. Not because they hate you, but because your stumble restores balance. Machiavellian awareness. This is where the dark strategy begins. Machiavelli didn't teach paranoia. He taught perception. If you assume everyone supports you blindly, you become naive. If you assume everyone is against you, you become unstable. The balanced path? Observe. Notice who becomes distant when you improve. Notice who jokes when you speak big. Notice who disappears when you succeed. Patterns reveal intentions. And once you see the pattern, you gain leverage, because now you understand. Their resistance is not about you. It's about their fear. The brutal realization, sometimes the people who secretly want you to fail are old friends, family members, colleagues, even mentors. Not openly, not consciously, but emotionally. Your growth forces them to evaluate themselves. And most people avoid self-evaluation like it's poison. So they pray, quietly, for your inconsistency. Because if you quit, if you get distracted, if you fall back to old habits, everything returns to normal. And normal feels safe. But here's the twist. Their hidden resistance is proof you are moving correctly. No one envies mediocrity. No one secretly hopes the average man fails. They only watch the one who is rising. And if people are silently uncomfortable around your growth, you've already shifted the hierarchy. Now you must apply the true Machiavellian strategy. 1. How to use their hidden envy as fuel. 2. How to protect yourself from subtle sabotage. 3. And how to rise without revealing your next move. Because once you understand the psychology of silent opposition, you stop seeking approval and you start playing the game. We already exposed the uncomfortable truth. Some people don't hate you. They fear what you might become. Now let's go deeper. Because awareness alone is not power, strategy is. And this is where Machiavellian thinking becomes dangerous, in a controlled way. Rule 1. Move in silence. One of the most powerful principles associated with Niccolo Machiavelli is this. Never reveal your full intention. The moment you announce every goal loudly, you invite unnecessary resistance. Not because people consciously plan against you, but because your ambition activates comparison. Comparison activates insecurity. Insecurity activates subtle sabotage. So what do? You reduce exposure. Stop announcing every move. Stop seeking validation. Stop explaining your plans. Let results speak. Silence creates mystery. Mystery creates distance. Distance protects momentum. Rule 2. Observe reactions, not words. When you share good news, watch faces. Watch tone shifts. Watch energy. Some people congratulate you instantly. Others pause just a little too long. That pause is information. If someone consistently changes the topic when you talk about growth, makes jokes about your ambition, brings up your past failures, acts supportive but never actually supports, you are not imagining it. You are detecting friction, and friction reveals pressure points. This doesn't mean you attack. It means you adjust access. Not everyone deserves front row seats to your transformation. Rule 3. Stop trying to convince. This is where many ambitious people lose energy. They try to prove themselves. They argue. They explain. They defend their vision. But here's the dark truth. The more you try to convince someone of your potential, the more you lower your perceived value. Power doesn't argue. Power moves. If someone doubts you, let them. If someone underestimates you, let them. Underestimation is camouflage, and camouflage is strategic advantage. Why their doubt is your advantage. When people secretly want you to fail, they relax. They assume you won't stay consistent. They assume you'll quit like before. That assumption makes them careless, and careless observers miss progress. So while they wait for your downfall, you build quietly. Discipline doesn't need applause. It needs repetition. The biggest revenge against silent envy is silent elevation. Emotional detachment, the ultimate weapon. Here's the mistake most people make. They take envy personally. They feel betrayed. They get emotional. But emotion clouds strategy. Machiavellian awareness requires detachment. You must understand, their reaction is about their internal conflict, not your worth. When you detach emotionally, you stop oversharing. You stop reacting to passive aggression. You stop seeking approval. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. And that is when real power begins. The transformation shift. At some point in your growth, something changes. You stop needing people to believe in you. You stop waiting for encouragement. You stop explaining your grind. And something fascinating happens. The same people who doubted you start studying you. The same ones who joked start asking for advice. The same ones who hoped you would quit start saying, "I always knew you'd make it." Human psychology respects outcomes, not intentions, not promises, outcomes. The final Machiavellian insight. Here's the deepest layer of this entire strategy. You cannot control who secretly wants you to fail, but you can control how visible your vulnerability is. Oversharing struggles to the wrong audience invites quiet celebration. Broadcasting every setback gives insecure people relief. So be selective. Share pain with those who've earned loyalty. Share ambition with those who build, not break. And share victory with everyone, because success silences silent enemies. The cold reality: if nobody secretly hopes you fail, you are not threatening enough. You are not ambitious enough. You are not rising fast enough. Opposition is a shadow cast by elevation. The higher you go, the longer the shadow. So don't fear it. Use it. Let their hidden doubt sharpen your discipline. Let their discomfort fuel your consistency. Let their silence motivate your silence. Because when you finally reach a level they never imagined, they won't say they wanted you to fail. They'll say you were lucky, and that will be your final confirmation. If this message hits you, if you've felt this silent resistance, if you've noticed people acting strange when you start improving, then understand something. You are not crazy. You are evolving. And evolution always disturbs the comfortable. Now here's where I need you. Our channel is new. We're building something powerful from zero. No big team. No corporate backing. Just raw truth about psychology, power, and human nature. If you want more content like this, deeper, darker, sharper, then hype this video. Like it. Comment your thoughts. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Engage with it aggressively, because when you support this video, you're not just helping the channel grow, you're helping build a space where uncomfortable truths can survive. If you're still watching until this moment, you're not average. Stay strategic, stay silent, and keep rising.